What's going on, everybody? This is another episode of the Underground Runaround. I'm your host, Brand Ross. We got our co-host, Pav Daddy, with us. Pav, what's up, dude?
A lot of baseball.
We got baseball, man.
Finally.
It's back.
Oh, man.
Little cowbell for the baseball. All right. Still Bozo Bob with us, because fuck him. We made it 25 seconds into the episode before I started swearing, so I apologize for that.
What was it? I just seen somebody say, like, Manfred needs to be nicer or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
Like, friendlier.
One of the players, I forget who. Oh, it was Adam Wainwright. Put him on blast today. Wainwright says, I really don't know what he does. He literally does nothing for us.
Yeah.
Because I posted that on my personal Facebook today. I said I didn't know I was Wainwright's biggest fan. Like, it just sucks that he's a Redbird.
Had to beat the Cubs so many times, dude.
I
It's
know. Such a quality pitcher. You know what I mean? A good pitcher. He doesn't throw a million miles an hour and gets the job done.
Consistent, yeah.
Yep. So made a career out of it. A hell of a career out of it. Good for him. And he's at the point in his career where he's not taking any shit from Bozo Bob. Way to hit the mic button, Pav. Appreciate that. Cheers, buddy. Cheers.
Oh, man.
So the most recent news, we'll just start off with it. I had to put a hoodie on because I was wearing my Cubs Chris Bryant shirt today. Just hoping today was going to be the day, and it is, but for all the wrong reasons. Chris is going to Colorado to do God knows what for a long time with a no-trade clause and a lot of money. So, best of luck to him.
Yeah, I thought the only way the Cubs would sign him would be like a shorter contract, maybe 3 years or something. So the fact that he got 7 years, $26 million a year average, it's pretty good money for Chris Bryant. So
I think I'm the only one that's not surprised by this. I think it's great. I think it's pretty much what I expected. More above average. Everybody wanted to downplay it and see how cheap they could get him for, I think, and maybe Colorado was the only team offering him a real contract of both length and average value. So I don't know. I don't know why you go there, though. I mean, he's already done, in terms of what you can do as an individual, he doesn't have anything else to do. You know, he's an MVP. You know, all-star.
It's the pine trees in the outfield, dude.
Yeah. I mean, he might hit a couple on the Blake Street. Who knows? I don't know.
I mean, at least it's a beautiful park, right?
It is great. We were there last summer.
Just played in two really nice parks in Wrigley and then San Francisco.
And the weather there in the summer is so much better than the weather here in the summer. There's no humidity, dude. So, I mean, I'm sure
he's gonna drop
knew
bombs
that.
there.
Yeah, that heat is like a nice heat. It's not hot.
I think it's going to be good for his career numbers, definitely.
Everybody's career numbers are good in Coors Field, so good for him. I don't know why he did it, but good for him. I don't know. Maybe he's friends with Charlie Blackmon. I don't know.
The only thing I can think is like nobody else offered that kind of money and length.
In that, and I think just from what we've seen about him, I think he wants the security. He got a full no trade in there with 7 years. You know, so
it's pretty wild, dude.
He could just go hang out and see what happens. And then if he wants to, at any point during that time, if he wants to leave, I'm sure he could figure it out. But I think after how the Cubs handled everyone, honestly, if we look back objectively, and yeah, they all got offered more than what they took, is what the reports are coming out, but if you look at how all of that situation was handled, it was like they hung it all over the player's head. So maybe he just wanted to have a little more control in his future. So
I don't think people would be so mad at the Cubs if they were actually like trying to win now. You know, like I can understand like you had this group and they couldn't push it over the hill anymore, right? They won that World Series. They go back to the NLCS, and then it's just progressively worse, and you start losing those wild card games. So it's like, okay, something had to change. You didn't have the pitching to support it for sure. And that's where they never, after that first time winning, they never had the pitching again. So, I mean, that was their biggest problem. They didn't address it.
Agreed.
And,
Yeah, I mean, they went and got Quintana, and he just didn't do it. You know what
right.
I mean? He never wasn't worth the fuck, honestly.
Right. That's the thing is like he was consistently where he was.
Yeah, he
But he
never
wasn't a
improved.
number
Right.
one. We just never had a number one. And like you when you rely on Kyle Hendricks to be your number one, look, the guy's a great pitcher, but he doesn't throw 98. So when you get in trouble as a pitcher like that, a guy that throws 98, it's a lot easier for him to get out of trouble. So
Yep.
I just think that like blowing it up wasn't the worst thing to happen. I think just the rebuild that isn't happening.
Yeah, I don't know what I mean, I don't know. They're in a weird spot. The playoffs have expanded. I don't know if that. I don't think it's good. I don't think they're in a position to be one of the extra teams. But
I don't know. Have you seen the Reds?
Well, here's the thing. They're literally the Cubs themselves are literally in no man's land, in my opinion, because the Reds and the Pirates have shown a full-on tank just happening. Them and the surprise tank team is Oakland. Oakland is blowing it up. Everything they had just gone. So their salary will be very interesting. But the Reds were dumping away, dump, and then today they make the dumbest move I've ever seen. They traded. So let's preface this for anyone who doesn't know by saying that the Reds needed to pay Wade Miley. He had an option. They declined his option and outrighted him. The Cubs claimed him off waivers. I think the Cubs paid Wade Miley $10 million, something like that. So fast forward, it makes sense up until today. If they were in fact just dumping. They've been trading players left and right. But then today, they make the move that doesn't make sense. And this is why I would hate to be a Reds fan. They trade Amir Garrett, who's a turd by all accounts. The guy he's a big fucking turd. Shout out to Turd Mir Garrett. How you doing, bud? They trade him to the Royals for Mike Minor, who's a not as good as Wade Miley left-handed pitcher, but makes the same exact amount of money. He's getting $10 million this year. So what the fuck are the Reds doing? I don't understand that move not one bit. They didn't change anybody in their front office to be like, hey, like they bailed on a guy they already had and then traded a dude to take on more salary when they've clearly shown that they're going to win 20 games this year. I mean, the Diamondbacks, the Reds, the Pirates, the A's, there's probably another team or two. They're going to win 15 games apiece this year. I mean, there's going to be some of the worst teams you've ever seen in professional baseball. I really think that that's happening this year. And I don't know why or if that's. I think we might have a tanking issue on our hands this season. I really do. Like, some of the things that are happening make no sense. The Reds were just giving players away last week, the last few days, just giving them away. Here, take them. Anything you want to give us in return? Okay, we'll take it. But just take it. Pay whatever you think it's worth. What are you gonna do?
And you know what the funny thing about Oakland is? They're a team that like they could get away with it somehow that none of us sees because freaking Billy Bean's genius.
Right.
And the team will probably win 90 games. He'll have a payroll of $25 million. And I don't know, man. Sometimes, but they really blew it up. I was really surprised with how quickly, but I guess that's part of the thing, right? So like when they're talking trade with Matt Olson, the Braves probably right away said, "Look, we'll extend you if you come here."
Oh, sure.
So
I'm
I
sure that
think,
was probably talked about before that trade was even. I'm sure it was like, hey, we're not giving this up unless he agrees to sign an extension. I would assume it was more along the lines of that, because they gave up Shea Langeliers,
yeah,
who was their top draft choice in 19, I believe, or
yeah.
20. Maybe it was 20. It was the same year as Adley. Whenever Adley got drafted, they were in the same class. But he was a top 10 catching draft pick. And who else did they give up in that deal?
Pache.
Yeah, Pache. Who for the hobby idiots out there, we all knew he was a glove first player. So he's still he's going to be a fantastic big leaguer if he can, hit at average. For hobby people, that doesn't mean anything for his market. He's not going to have a market, but he's going to be a fantastic big league ball player if he can hit 250. So he's got the tools in the outfield and the glove and the arm and all of that. So they gave up some things to get a guy and then pay him. So I don't know what the hell Freddie thinks he's gonna get paid. I don't know. I don't understand.
I bet this is going to be good for Matt Olson's hobby value. I could see like if and the thing is like you're going into that lineup that is already pretty damn good. So you're going to have some nice hitters around you, man. Dude, he could get some fucking monster stats playing in Atlanta.
That's true.
This could
I
be
mean,
really
he's
good
still
for him.
pretty young too. He's like 4 or 5 years younger than Freeman. So it's literally like an upgrade for them. I mean, really. I'm really curious what Freddie's gonna get because now I assume it's gonna be like a 3 or 4 year deal, but it might be a lot of money. It might be to a team that's gonna win like the Dodgers.
Well, I'd say that if
The
so,
Rays have also
Rizzo got
rumored.
16, Bryant got 26. I'd say you're probably looking at least mid 20s
Well, here's the
for
other wild
Freeman.
wild number to me. The wild contract is Schwarber getting 79 million to the Phillies, 4 years. So basically $20 million a year for Kyle Schwarber. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Fucking 500 grand a home run. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's you're. I mean, you got to be thinking that Freeman probably gets 25 plus.
Has to. He's got to get more than Schwarber. He has to. Absolutely has to get more money than Kyle Schwarber. So you might see like a 4 year $100 million deal, something like that.
Could see that.
That would be my guess as it stands right now, somewhere around that. And I heard a rumor about the Rays today. Again, just a rumor, and I find that odd because the Rays don't spend money, and they've already spent money, investing into Wander. Which, by the way, quick segue, Brett is not with us tonight. His 101 first edition Wander did grade an 8 at PSA, and that is all the updates we have for you on Wander Mania 2022 at the moment. That, and I pulled a 1987 blue parallel insert in a break this afternoon. That's it for Wander Mania. Back to our regularly scheduled podcast. So yeah, I would assume somewhere around 25 million. I don't know. I don't think it'll be super long. I think he's 30. Freddie's 32, 33.
I'm looking right now.
I think he's 30. I think he's 32. He's been around since 2011.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. He might get 5 years.
Yeah, he could get 4 or 5 years without a big expectation of regression. He might slow down, but he's not going to fall off. He's proven it for too long that he can play at this level.
Five years, 120. I'll bet he gets somewhere around there.
That's a lot of money.
5 years, 120, 24
I,
million a year average.
oh yeah, 5 years. Sorry, I was still thinking 4. Yeah, I could see it. I'm sure that might be the hang up. I'm sure maybe some teams are willing to give him what he wants, but not the length.
Right. I
Okay,
bet most teams want to do 3.
yeah, I'm like, hey, bud, I want some security. You can.
Dude, I'm telling you, I think that's what happened with Bryant. When you think about like Rizzo 2 years, and what did you say Schwarber got?
4 4 and
4 years,
79.
and
Yeah.
Schwarber's younger than those guys, even. So I mean, it just seems like most of the teams are probably pushing for shorter deals now. I think that's something that we're going to see a lot of, is teams trying to get the shorter deals. With those 10-year deals, I don't see a lot of teams pushing that in the future, especially as the guys that got those get older and these teams see how much they actually have dedicated to these guys in the second half of those contracts. And with any regression in those guys, man, that's really going to start sticking out for those teams. So I think that it's a little different. I think we'll start seeing progression towards the shorter.
And then you have the short guys like Jock Peterson's been playing these 1-year deals. He just signed with the Giants today. 1 year, $6 million.
$6 million.
He,
I don't know. I
what
like
the
that
Cubs
deal.
pay him? 6 or 8
Yeah.
million last year. The Cubs signed him and then traded him to Atlanta. So he's literally like a gypsy. The Giants might sign him, and if they're not competing, hey, go win another ring, bud. Like Jock's gonna end up like Bob Orry, Big Shot Bob, and have fucking 100 rings, and just be that guy that like you had to know who he was to know how he got all these fucking championships. Just right place, right time kind of guy. Hey, 1-year deals here. Send me wherever. I'm here. I didn't even buy a house in this fucking town. Where are you sending me? Like Jock Peterson's a fucking career pimp. He's just all over the globe, just wherever they need me. It's like, fuck this team. This is a business.
Yeah, it's been. I mean, when you look at it, a lot of these guys, Rodon got short contract, Kershaw 1 year. Most of these guys are getting short contracts. I mean, really, like the Bryant deal is an outlier from what we've been seeing this offseason.
Yeah, no doubt. Aside from Corey, don't forget Corey Seager got a huge deal right before the lockout.
I'd say since
the lockout.
Yeah, since we reopened and like the new CBA and stuff, all these new contracts, dude, they're all short as shit. I think Correa's going to get a long-term deal. He's going to demand it. Somebody will give it to him.
There's a rumor, Baltimore, of all places, 10 years, $300 million. That's the rumor I've heard. Said the offer is on the table for him, which makes it sound like if he doesn't get the length or the money he wants in one place or the other, he's got that, it's like a fuck everybody, I'm taking the money. Seems like that would be like a plan B for him. I don't know why you'd want to go to Baltimore, especially in that division. The Blue Jays are fucking loading up. The Blue Jays are doing the Blue Jays are the team. They're going for it. They got Matt Chapman today. I mean, the Blue Jays, boy. Woo. Toronto's in it to win it.
Yeah, Correa picked a good year to have, basically his best season.
Yeah, the Blue Jays traded Gunnar Hoagland, who was their top draft choice last year, to get Chapman. Traded infielder Kevin Smith, Zach Logue, and left-handed pitcher Kirby Snead. But Gunnar Hoagland was doing Tommy John rehab anyway, so who knows? All these other guys, though, these other 3 guys they traded, I feel like that's a good deal for the Blue Jays. Smith is 25, Logue is 25, and Snead is 27. So,
which one were they part of? For Chapman,
Matt Chapman deal, yeah.
Yeah.
So Matt Chapman's just gonna take his platinum glove to the Blue Jays and hang out.
Yeah, dude. It's gonna be. You know what? They stacked their pitching staff too. Stacked it.
Yeah.
They're gonna be really tough. I don't. Who the hell do the Yankees got? I am surprised that they're not just spending through the nose right now to try and to try and beat these guys. I don't see how anyone even matches up with the Blue Jays right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Let's just see what they did today. So all they did today was Chapman, and then yesterday they got Andrew Vasquez. They just signed him. Um, the day before they signed Kikuchi.
Yeah,
The in
yeah,
I think that was 3 years, 36 million. I think it's 12 million a year. So yeah, more pitching for them. Which
yeah.
if he can eat innings, that's what I said. I actually that happened while we were doing a break, and all I said was, if he can pitch the innings every fifth day, he's worth 12 million.
And that they already picked up two pitchers that are better than him.
Yeah,
So
and
I
they
mean,
have the offense to
when you
support
get
guys that
there,
can just eat innings. Like if you have a
yeah,
bad day and you can only go 6 innings or 5 innings and you give up 5 runs, the offense might have your back that day. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Just go out there and eat the innings up.
I
I
think the
just
big one for them is Kevin Gosman. He's the like, is he gonna be the stellar pitcher that we saw last year, or is he gonna be the Kevin Gosman from the rest of his career? So like, has he turned a corner where all of a sudden he's gonna be this stud? And but if he is, then dude, that is a freaking tough team, man.
yeah. So, just going through some of this shit, man. The Cubs picked up Andrelton Simmons for $4 million. I don't know what that does for us, but again,
I know.
he's the perfect signing for where the Cubs are at, right in the middle of nowhere, because the Cardinals and the Brewers are clearly better than us on paper. I'm sorry, they are, no doubt about it. The Reds and the Pirates have clearly shown they're not going to compete this year, and there's the Cubs like half in, half out, and I don't think that's how you
I
do it.
don't even. The problem with them is they might not even be half it. You're relying on guys
Unknown
that had.
dudes.
You look at like Patrick Wisdom, right? And he spent the whole year getting worse with his batting average and ended up at 230. So
Yeah,
like, this is your fucking all-star guy, you know? So
him and
and
Hap, those are two like
Schwindel,
yeah, but like Wisdom was a top tier draft choice.
right,
You know,
right.
he's just older. He took longer to develop. He could, but that's the thing, right? It's all like I'm not banking on him hitting 250 and 30 bombs, It's not even a thought. Like, if it
Dude,
happens, great, but if not, I'm going to be like, why the fuck is he still out there?
dude, this team could be historically bad.
I don't think it's going to don't talk like that, man. I just
I'm just saying, it really could be. When you think about like
that the
you,
only reason I agree is because there's no pitching velocity. There's no
you
velocity.
oh man,
It could be batting practice on the north side for a lot of visiting teams this year.
it's such a bummer because I was really pumped about some of the pitching prospects they actually had that we were going to get to see, and it's just like, okay, what's going to happen here? But like, I'd like to see Keegan Thompson do well, but
Sure.
it's it's going to be so hard to be good with with this team.
Yeah, I don't
Trying to
know.
score, maybe I'm 100% wrong, and fucking these guys, Hoyer's a genius, and they just know a bunch of stuff we don't know. I guess like Justin Steele, is he going to be healthy this year too?
I don't know.
That's their guy.
There's the other one. Speaking of Hoyers, Cody Hoyer, part of the Craig Kimbrell deal, has undergone Tommy John surgery. So there's an arm we won't have because he's a fantastic young arm for the pen in the future. But apparently, we won't get to try him out this year. So that sucks. He was. We got him and Madrigal for Craig Kimbrell. I was really excited about that because I could not believe they threw in an arm as part of that deal. That's a hell of an arm to get as a complimentary throw-in piece to the trade. Madrigal, I mean, he can hit the ball. He can put the ball in play, but I don't know what that means. We're gonna find out what it means real soon. White Sox people love him. They hated that they got Kimbrel, but it's their own damn fault for putting one of the best closers of all time in the 8th inning. I don't give a shit
What a
about.
mistake.
I don't give a shit about Liam
What a
Hendricks.
mistake.
Like, yeah, Liam Hendricks was your closer, but that dude's only been closing games for 3 years. You literally have one of the best closers of all time who only throws 2 pitches.
Who was on a hot streak.
Would he give up 2 runs in 30 some odd innings before they traded him?
Insane.
Just fucking rolling. It's the 9th inning. That's what he's built for. The 9th inning. Sorry, White Sox. You guys have too many Chiefs in your bullpen and not enough Indians. I mean, take that how you want it, but hey, too many Chiefs and not enough Guardians in your fucking bullpen. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's great to have all those names and these stud arms, but some of those dudes are only built for that high leverage, high drama situation. And if you can't present them that challenge, they're bored out there and they're not locked in like they need to be. So I don't know. They signed the White Sox, signed Joe Kelly. So I mean, they're adding more just arms. The White Sox could be for real, but I'm never gonna say that, being biased. But they're getting into a few issues, and this is what I said years ago when they started signing guys. They started signing guys too early. Like, is Grandal gonna regress this year? When's Abreu going to start regressing? Is Moncada going to stay consistent? Tim Anderson, some of those guys. Like, yeah, they have young dudes, but they got a core that's starting to age a little bit, and they haven't figured out how to put it all together. And they lost some, like they lost Rodon, and I don't know what else they've added to their rotation. So we'll see.
So, my buddy Kenny has a conspiracy theory about Yohan Moncada and the White Sox.
That's weird. Former number 1 overall prospect, by the way.
It says they're going to trade him.
Oh, I mean,
says they're going to trade him. That they haven't. He says that they haven't posted his picture on any of their Instagram
since the lockout.
Since spring training started, yeah.
They could be unhappy with him. There was a big knock on him, and I'm not here to stir the pot unless you got something to stir it with, like a big spoon. But the Red Sox didn't like him. They said he was very undisciplined and was real bad into junk food and not wanting to work. He was like Derrick Rose, basically. That's what they were saying. That's a big part of the reason why they were more than willing to give him up in that Chris Sale trade. I'm fairly certain he was the centerpiece in that Chris Sale trade when Sale cut up the jerseys. Because he said, I'm not wearing these fucking jerseys. And the White Sox were like, yes, you are. And he's like, well, I'm the starter. Don't I get to pick the uniforms? Because isn't that how baseball works? And I'm like, no, you're wearing them. He's like, fuck this. I can't pitch in these. Where's the scissors? And Mr. Equipment Manager, yes, you sit down and get me some scissors and I'll do the job today. I'll manage the equipment. Thank you very much. Love Chris Sale. Hero for doing that. Fantastic move. Shout out to Chris Sale. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Baseball games tomorrow, dude. We got spring training games tomorrow.
I love it.
Do we get to watch them anywhere? Is it going to be on any TV?
I'll find a broadcast somewhere. There'll be a broadcast. Something will be broadcasted. We'll find it. That's a tomorrow problem, though. I have too many problems in my life, one problem at a time. Last night, speaking of problems, so Underground sent out or is in the process of sending out another sub for CSG, or 2 CSG. Pav's got some cards in that. I have some of my own cards in that. But I had and again, Underground's not the biggest thing ever. It's somewhere around 300 cards total, and I had put about half of them into the website. You log everything online. There's no paper form. You actually have to put it into the computer and then print it all out. And halfway through, the wife had to go get something for my kids' school. So she took the girls. I had a few minutes after dinner. I jumped down here. I'm like, hell yeah, I'll try and knock this sub out. Log in. My orders disappeared. Like, shit. So then I go to start a new order. I'm like, fuck it, I gotta start all over. This is gonna suck because I already spent a few hours logging cards, and I click on it. I can't even. I click on online submission, nothing pops up. Like it doesn't even give me the option to start a new submission. So I sent him an email like, "Hey, this shit's broken." I reached out to the guy who does all their social medias. I'm like, "Hey, bud, like, do you know if the website's broke or something?" Luckily, he said the IT people were working on it. I'm like, "Oh my god, it's a nightmare." I came back today; it was all good to go. So just so you know, Pav, I haven't even told you because you're not on Facebook with the rest of the group who's in the sub, but it's all getting shipped out tomorrow. It's all one semi-rigid and paperworked, and it's going out. 45-day turnaround. It's fucking incredible on bulk. 45-day turnaround on bulk. They got some new state-of-the-art system flying through stuff. I had somebody ask me because it went from like 100 something days to 45. He's like, is that alarming to you? I'm like, no, not at all. He said, why? And I said, let me tell you why. I said, simply because when we sent our first bulk sub in, it said 165 days, business days, and we got it back start to finish in 4 months. So I don't even know what the business days were, but it was somewhere around 90. So, bam. Like, yeah, they were already ahead, and I think they just were keeping that number high to be safety, to err on the side of caution. And they launched their registry, and I think we showed that on the last episode. They got a whole population report, all of that. I mean, they've only been doing this just a little over a year, and they've already made more jumps than some of these other new companies. There's only 4 companies that you can look up pop reports and stuff like that. So, super pleased. Again, I'm not bumping them. I'm not trying to tell anybody who's listening to send me your cards. I actually hate middlemaning cards. It's tedious. It's a lot of work involved, and if the people send you cards with not enough information, it's a fucking nightmare. Like, there's certain cards I could not figure out what the fucking parallels were. Somebody sent me some 1990s basketball cards. Fuck. That took me a long time to figure that shit out. Like, oh, I wasn't around then. Like, I was alive, but I was a little kid. Like, yeah, let me figure it out. So, I figured it out, but anyway. Had a big hiccup yesterday. Pretty scary. Back to baseball. The hobby, as far as the hobby goes this week, friends, there's nothing new happening. There's a limited football, and I think that's it. Last week they blew their load for the month, it seems like, for the hobby. Had like 9 new releases last week. This week we had we had Bowman First Edition Baseball. Sorry, that popped up on Topps yesterday. And then limited football today, and that's it. There's UEFA Champions League First Edition Soccer from Topps. I didn't even see that. They're going to First Edition everything now. Awesome. And then next week is UFC Prism. It'll be their second year for that. Fortnite Series 3 cards. Upper Deck NHL Star Rookies box set. And that's it. And then the following week on the 30th, there will be some more stuff. Contenders basketball, Prism draft picks basketball for 21-22, but Contenders comes out the same day, so that's going to really kill Prism draft picks. They shouldn't even have released it. I think they should have canceled it. That's going to sit on every retail shelf forever. Topps Inception comes out on the 30th. I've heard boxes are already $200. That's fucking insane. So we'll see how that goes. It's getting wild, man. UEFA Champions League Soccer, Topps Chrome Overtime Elite Basketball, the NIL Kids, Upper Deck Premier Hockey, Upper Deck Goodwin Champions, sorry. That's about it for the hobby until we get into April. And then even it just seems like none of the baseball stuff is coming. Don Ross, Topps Sterling. Some things will start turning up in April. Seems like that's when we'll finally get rocking and rolling. Bowman's still slated for the end of April. It hasn't been pushed or canceled or anything. So we'll see what happens. But that's where we're at with the hobby now. Not. Holy shit, dude! What's going on over there?
Something funny, I guess.
Yeah. So not much going on for the hobby this week or next week. So we don't have anything to talk about. We don't have our hobby newsman, Brett. He's going on vacation or something like that before he even got you know.
He's spring breaking it, right? He's on spring break.
Yeah, pretty much. And maybe that's what it is.
Yeah,
Maybe
I got that
it's
school
next week.
teacher schedule. Who is obviously we gotta see where everything shakes out, but right now what's the best division in baseball, do you think?
It's hard saying, dude. I would have to say it's the American League East, just the Blue Jays, man. The Blue Jays. I don't know what the Yankees are really doing. The Red Sox haven't done a ton, but until proven otherwise, with the Rays in there, they're always competing. They literally have 4 teams that could compete for a playoff spot. The Orioles are the only exception. So the Orioles might only win 6 games this year too. I don't know. That's the division. I mean, every time I want to say the NL East, and then it always proves me wrong. Between the Nationals, the Braves, and the Phillies, one of those teams always severely underperforms. The Mets too. I mean, those are the 2 divisions. Out east, man, they have some great baseball teams. Out west, they do too, but it's just not as deep throughout the divisions. Like if you look at the AL West, I still don't see the Angels competing, but they could. Oakland's not going to compete this year, so you have Houston and maybe the Angels, because Seattle. What's Seattle doing? I think they're still a ways away. Hopefully, some of their young talent steps up. I don't know. That they're interesting though. Seattle. I really thought that's where Chris was going to go. I thought that was going to be their building block to come in where Seager left off, and then bring all their just bring all their young guys into that.
That money was just too good.
Yeah. So I really don't know. It's tough right now. Until the dust settles and we know what everybody's doing. The AL East just horrifying, honestly. The AL Central's gonna suck. The Tigers spent some money. The Royals have been making some moves. I don't know if any of them are gonna pan out for them. It seems like they picked Greinke back up today. Like I said, they traded for Amir Garrett. They've made some moves, but nothing crazy. The Tigers have spent some money. They signed Andrew Chafin, Baez, Cleveland, I don't know what Cleveland's doing. The White Sox have been signing bullpen dudes, and they signed a second Josh Harrison.
Right.
To play some infield for him.
Right, and the White Sox were already pretty good.
The Twins are doing. These guys are fucking killing me right now. On my own. Would you guys get a room?
Who do the White Sox have as starters now? With Rodon gone.
I don't know.
That's we'll have to for them.
We got to figure that'll be. You're talking about next episode shit. We'll cut into the rosters and do all the fucking.
We'll have some baseball to talk about.
Yeah, we'll talk about division winners, all that shit when spring training starts wrapping up. I mean, we got a few weeks. Let's just figure out let's figure out who's where before we figure out who's doing what.
Faster than you think.
That's fine.
This is gonna be a fast spring training.
Good. It should have been fucking started already, Bob. Thanks, Bob. Loser.
We're gonna have November baseball again, huh?
Yeah, well now you got 12 fucking teams in the playoffs. It's ridiculous. I don't even know how that works yet. I haven't even dug into that. I don't know, because 12 don't work. Like 12 turns into 6 and 6 turns into 3, and then so you got to have a bye. Teams are going to get a bye. I don't like it. Bye weeks in baseball. What the fuck is this?
They used to back in the day before wild card, dude.
You're right.
But that's the single wild card was pretty nice.
Yeah, Sure.
And then they added another wild card.
That was
and
dumb.
now we got another one.
I'll be okay with it as long as it's not a one-game thing. I don't think one-game
I think they
playoffs
said
belong.
3 games or something.
It's
I don't know.
a best of 3 is fine because a fluke can happen once. A fluke can happen twice, but at that point, it's the fool me once, shame on you thing. So it's just not, baseball's not a one-game sport. You don't play 162 games to play one game that means everything. That's just, it makes no logical sense. Football, it makes sense because you play 17 games, but you only play one time a week. Football makes more sense. You can't have the playoffs take 3 months unless you're going to play 3 games a week.
So they could get, the top 2 seeds will get a bye to the divisional round.
And then what's the wild card then? So it'd be 4 teams in the wild card. So that has to be best of 3. Yeah. Don't tell me there's 2 one-game playoffs.
No, it should be because you have 3 division winners. So you're gonna have one of those division winners play in
Yeah.
in a series in one of those series. And
I mean, are they even gonna do it by division winners? Are they gonna do it by the best record or what?
Yeah, so 1 seed best overall record, 2 seed second best record among division winners, 3 seed third best division winner record, 4 through 6 seeds 3 best records among non-division winners. So essentially, you could have a division that could have 4 fucking teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, the AL East. Or you could have this crazy ass scenario too, where you look at if you look at a division that's weaker, like the NL West, where I don't see the Rockies competing or the Diamondbacks, and the Giants could very well not compete. I don't know what the Giants have done. I haven't dug into them yet. They've lost. They've lost bodies. They signed Jock Peterson. But you could have the Padres and the Dodgers win more games than every other team, and one of them still has to be the wild card. You know what I mean? One of them still has to be the 5th seed or the 4th seed or whatever stupid thing that could be. So, who knows?
The 3 seed will host the 6 seed for a 3-game series. The 4 seed will host the 5 seed. So you get 3 home games.
Yeah, that's weird. They're not even gonna travel. They're not gonna do like a 2-1 or a. Yeah, that's wild.
Better come ready to play 3-game series.
That's a huge home advantage, though.
Yeah, dude, it's a huge advantage for a team with pitching. If you buy pitching at the fucking trade deadline, like if you're on the fringe and you get some fucking pitching, man, where you just got 3 rock solid starters, you could fucking you could really fuck some people up. Just sneak into the playoffs right at that 500 mark, and just, I guess that's how it's been for a long time. But now you can really do it. That 3-game series, you only need 2 of those guys to have a good game.
Yeah, I don't know. The Mets get in a wild card scenario where they got DeGrom and Scherzer. Just go home. Just go home. Oh my gosh. Just go the fuck home. The other team should just not even show up. I mean, that's going to be the Mets, man. The Mets. The NL. Yeah, the NL. Yeah, okay. So it's confirmed it's the NL East and the AL East. Those are the 2 divisions. I'm saying it already. I don't know what the Braves are going to do. They're losing, but they won the World Series, so you can't disrespect them.
They got a lot.
The Marlins are going to win 6 games. The Phillies just signed Kyle Schwarber, and they got Bryce Harper and some other things going on there. They're going to try and out-hit everybody. And the Nationals got that dude Juan Soto. And Juan Soto's going to do what Juan Soto does, so I don't know. I don't know what it means for anything, but it's going to be fun, dude. Baseball. Fucking we're talking about baseball. We're not talking about, hey, when are they going to play? No, we know when they're going to play, but we don't know where people are playing. Where like Freddie Freeman, man, what's going on? Where Nick Castellanos? Who's gonna pick up Castellanos? Why is
That
his
ain't no
market?
shit.
Why is his market cooled off? Schwarber just got 20 million a year. They both suck at defense. Like they're the same player, just one's left-handed and one's right-handed. So I would think Nicky's gonna get about 20 million too. And I
It's
haven't
got to,
I haven't
right?
heard any rumors about him at all. I have no idea what's going on with Castellanos. I wanted the Cubs to keep that man so bad. What a treat he was to have on the north side for half a season. Shout out
Isn't
to
that
Nick.
where it's where 309 hit 309, 34 home runs last year. 95 runs scored, 100 RBIs.
The dude's how old is he now? 28, 29?
29, so he'll
Yeah.
be 30 age 30 season.
That's a 5-year deal all over it. Sign me
Right?
up. Sign me up.
He's got to be. Who's his agent? Oh, he's got to be asking for more. I'd imagine that's why you haven't seen him and like Correa sign, just because of the length that they want.
Well, Castellanos probably saw Schwarber and said, "Are you fucking kidding me? Now my price just went up." Thanks, Phillies. Send them a fucking Christmas card, you know? Got me
He
paid.
probably wants 4 years, 100 million, don't you think?
Yeah. What he opt out of? It was like 17, 18 million, something like that. He opted out of his contract because he signed a big deal with the Reds, but it had those opt outs built into it. So he had a good year and he banked on himself. I don't remember what the specifics were, but the deal he signed with Cincinnati was pretty generous.
He got 14 last year.
What was he slated to get this year?
16. So he was slated for 16, 16, and 20.
Okay, so he's getting more than 20, period.
Yeah.
And he performed to get it. You know what I
He
mean?
got 16. He basically got 16 last year because he had a $2 million buyout. Right? Or
he had an opt out. He opted out.
Right. Yeah, I know. That's fucking crazy, dude. He's got to get at least 25, you'd think.
Yeah, he's gonna get paid, but we haven't heard a peep about him at all.
How about Nelson Cruz, man?
DHs for everyone, man.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's pretty interesting. Like, people like him, right? I don't know.
I'm sorry, what?
Nelson Cruz, just like people like him, right? Is he a likable guy? It's just pretty interesting how
I know where
you're
you're going here, but
dude,
yeah.
I'm telling you, 2013. Look at all that money he made. It just. Why wouldn't people do steroids?
Yeah.
I don't understand when it's that much money.
Yep.
When there's that much money involved, dude, like in real talk, right? When you think about, if somebody told you they'd pay you $1 million a year, just $1 million, but you gotta do some steroids to get there. I think it wouldn't take much convincing.
None at all. I'd have my butt cheek in that dude's face right now. Put the needle in me, boss. Let's go.
Yeah, so
I was getting ready to go lift anyway.
The difference between making $6.5 million to making fucking 15 to 20 a year. I mean, I'd say it's worth it. You get 50 game suspension here or there. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. Right.
I don't know. How much? Let me ask you, what do you think the percentage of people? So this goes back to like Chris Bryant's deal, right? I don't think Chris Bryant's deal is a love of the game deal. I think that's purely I'm gonna go play for whoever gave me the most money, and that's why you go to Colorado.
I don't think
team sucks.
Yeah, but the place is beautiful.
I get it.
Colorado is a great place, and it's a lot different than Chicago. So I don't know.
I know, but
he's getting older. I just think that the guy's he's won his World Series. He's the Rookie of the Year. He's an MVP. He's got all the hardware. Now he's got the deal he wants in terms of length with the money he wants in a fantastic location that's not far away from where he's from. I get it. And he has twins on the way. So he's already got one kid. Now he's got twins. So he's going to raise 3 kids in Denver area. Maybe.
Set for life.
It's good. He go post. He could buy a mountaintop somewhere. Like, fuck everybody. I'm up here. Nobody can trade me if I'm on this mountain. Like I understand it. And obviously my reasonings for understanding it could be way different than his actual reasons for doing it. So don't get confused there. But yeah, I don't have any issues with that deal. I just don't understand why the Rockies are willing to pay that money. Why? Because you're not going to compete. What are you doing?
Maybe they just think he's going to hit 45 home runs a year and just be this likable guy that people can go see.
Sure. He really could, though. You think about that with the universal DH shit and a team that doesn't compete or isn't going to compete. I'm sorry, the Rockies are not competing. So if he's feeling sore or banged up or whatever, hey, Chris, just go DH for a couple weeks, dude. Just keep your bat in the lineup. Can you still swing? Is the swing feeling good? All right, go hit a couple bombs, dude. And then just hang. I don't know, man. Good for him. Hey, good for him. I wish him nothing but the best.
I will say that, like, I was thinking about, like, his off-season training that he does. I think there's a good chance, like, given I think we didn't even talk about Tatis yet. Holy shit. But like, when you think about, like, he's a pretty healthy guy, and like his dad is a huge part of his training regimen. So I gotta think that he's gonna come in really prepared. So I think it'll be a big advantage for him if he was pushing that preparation more than other people. I think we're going to see a few guys that are maybe with the lockout, maybe not.
A sluggish shot at a gate.
I'm telling you, dude. And we're starting so late. I don't know. It's going to be so quick. It's going to be interesting. Maybe we see a bunch of guys get injured. Just like
stop.
Easing into shit, dude. I don't know.
Stop.
We'll see.
That's what spring training's for. It'll all pull their hamstring this week, and they'll be good by opening day.
Fucking dude. Hamstring. That's 3 months lingering shit. Oh, that's tough.
I strained my hamstring last summer, and it was like a month of. Hamstrings are one of the weirdest leg injuries because it's really one that you have no control over, and you don't know until you go 100%. Like,
yeah,
and you just gotta hope that it stays good because that's I've never had a hamstring injury until last summer in my entire life, and that's a weird one. It literally felt like someone bit me in the ass when it happened. I was running as hard as I could, and then all of a sudden I was hopping on one leg. Going, oh shit.
Who'd the Padres just sign? They brought in a bat, right? But like, that's one team. Do you think?
Who did the Padres just sign?
Do you think Tatis getting hurt?
Nick Martinez?
So no one, right?
I'm just going by day. This is only the official finalized deals too, I think.
Right.
Actually, I don't really see anything from them.
But they just anything. There was talk. There was just talk.
They were trying to sign the Suzuki kid. They had Yu Darvish trying to recruit him.
Do you think after the Tatis injury that them making that play, like, their interest actually went down? All of a sudden you lose this huge bat from your lineup. You're not going to be as productive.
No, because he's not out for the year. So it's only going to be a few months. I mean,
they say.
Right.
Wrist injuries, that is a fucking injury that this guy comes back and he could come back and slay it, right?
He'll be fine.
But some of those guys, wrist injury, they just never got that pop again.
He's got a shoulder that needs fixing. So So to see him do what he does every time he goes on a disabled list for his shoulder and comes back and hits 15 home runs and then goes back out for 2 weeks, he's the weirdest dude going right now. Like he needs to get himself right so he can stay on the field.
This
When
is
he's on
why
the
you
field,
invest in
he's
Soto.
electric.
Talent. Knock on wood. Stay healthy, Juan Soto.
Yeah, dude, don't be talking about him like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. So let's see. Just running it down today. The Diamondbacks signed Keone Kela, flamethrower reliever, to a minor league deal. The Braves signed Tyler Thornburg. They also did sign Eddie Rosario to a 2-year deal. They signed Alex Dickerson in the outfield. Baltimore signed Chris Ellis to a minor league deal. Suzuki to the Cubs. We've already talked about that. The Reds signed Donovan Solano today. They got Mike Minor. They signed Buck Farmer to a minor league deal. The Tigers signed Andrew Chafin, who's been a pretty good reliever. Willie Peralta to a minor league deal. Greinke to the Royals. Matt Duffy signed with the Angels. Griffin Canning goes to 60-day disabled list. Dodgers signed Shane Green to a minor league deal. Mets signed Chasen Shreve to a minor league deal. The Athletics picked up Sheldon Noisy, who was actually there. He was originally with them. He was acquired from the Angels off waivers. And then they had the big trade for Matt Chapman. They got a bunch of prospects today. Schwarber to the Phillies.
What do you think about that Eddie Rosario deal?
I mean, it's fair. It's fair. It was like, was it 16? 18? How much was it? How much money was it?
2 years, $18 million.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about after he got to the Braves last year, he put up what he had been doing, right, through most of his career. Went back to that 30 home run kind of number, 25, 30 home run. I think that might be a little. I don't know, dude. The Braves are going to be tough. That's going to be a sneaky deal for them. I think he could be really good for them.
The Pirates picked up Adonis Medina from waivers off Philly. The only reason I even say that is because he was a rookie in every single 2021 baseball product last year for the Phillies. So if you guys are sitting on 50-cent Adonis Medina autographs, I think they went down to 45 cents now that he's with the Pirates. Just for comparison purposes, yesterday, Matt Olson signed that 8-year extension with the Braves. The Braves also signed Colin McHugh for 2 years. The Red Sox picked up Matt Strahm, who's a card guy, and Jake Diekman. So they picked up 2 pitchers. The Cubs signed Chris Martin. The Rockies signed Jose Iglesias to a 1-year deal. Chase Anderson signed a minor league deal with the Tigers. The Astros signed former Cub Zach Rosscup to a minor league deal. Nico Goodrum signed a 1-year deal with the Astros. Austin Romine signed a minor league deal with the Angels. McCutchen signed with the Brewers. We haven't talked about that yet, but it's just a 1-year deal. I don't know. I think McCutchen's real close to being done. He's just barely been hanging on for a while now, it seems like, from his glory days. He had like 2 years where he was electric. That was about it, man. The Phillies signed Dylan Maples to a minor league deal, another former Cub.
Throws hard. Does he still throw hard?
I remember him being a respectable thrower. Yeah. What else do we have here? Daniel Vogelbach. The Pirates signed him. So the Pirates were just picking up table scraps enough to piece together a roster. Zach Birdie got released from the Diamondbacks. He was a sports card rookie not long ago, but again, nobody important. White Sox signed Joe Kelly and Vince Velasquez. Chad Kuhl signed with the Rockies. He was with the Pirates previous to that. Jake Lamb signed with the Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw, of course, but Jake Lamb's been bouncing around since his All-Star appearance and injuries. When he's healthy, he can hit. Jake Lamb can hit the ball. Pache in the trade to Oakland, so he should still be playing big league ball. The Mariners got Suarez and Winker, and that's why I really thought Chris Bryant was going to go over there just to play outfield, or Suarez could play first, and whatever. But that was a big dump for Jake Fraley and company. Who did they get? Jake Fraley.
Jake Lamb fell off the face of the earth, huh?
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yep.
30 home runs, 100 RBIs, 2017. All-Star. And then 6 home runs, 30 RBIs. 6 home runs, 30
I think he was a wrist injury guy. I think he was. The Nationals signed Erie Adrianza, who was on the Braves last year. The Nationals picked him up. They also picked up Steve Cishek, former Cub, former Marlin. The Rangers signed Jake Marisnick to a minor league deal. And seems about all notable things here. No. The Cubs... No way. The Cubs signed Robel Garcia to a minor league deal. Remember him?
Yeah.
30-year-old rookie from the Italian league. Is that him?
Yeah.
The Italian professional guy? Oh, my goodness. Oh, Trevor Bauer's on the restricted list.
They gave him a minor league contract, huh?
Yep. It's a signed to minor league deal.
He hit 150 for Houston last year.
He's terrible. He's terrible. Steven Souza signed with the Mariners on a minor league deal. Lots of minor league deals. Donaldson, we haven't talked about that. Donaldson and Isaiah Kiner Falefa ended up in New York. There was a deal there. The Rangers got something. The Twins got something. The Twins got Urshela and Gary Sanchez from the Yankees, and then they got Sonny Gray from the Reds. And the Rangers were involved in that too, somehow.
So that's a guy. Robel Garcia had to be on steroids, dude. I'm not even joking. If you look at his fucking minor league numbers, just terrible, right? Just listen to these home run numbers for a second. 1 home run, 6 home runs, 3 home runs, 5 home runs, 3. Then he disappears for. So like 2013, so this is where he went to Italy or whatever, right? After that. But they only have Italy numbers from 2017, 2018. And he hit 3 home runs each year. Then 2019, so the whole 2014, 2015, 2016 seasons totally missed from his numbers. 2019, he goes to the Cubs, and in Double-A, hits 295, 6 home runs, and then in Triple-A, hits 281 and 21 home runs. And so for 27 home runs on the season, I just out of nowhere, I don't know, man. That's just too fucking fishy. Is a career like 200 hit? So he hit 230 career in the minors. 174 career in the majors, and all of a sudden, just one fucking year, hits 284 with 27 home runs out of nowhere. After, I don't know, man.
That's like it's like you remember Eric Dames?
Yeah,
he was Oakland pick. Start his career in Oakland, maybe didn't work out. He went to Korea. Then the Brewers signed him. And then he hit 1 million home runs right out of the gate, and he said that he was getting tested like every day.
Yeah, dude, remember how stacked he was?
It was jacked, dude. That dude was fucking jacked.
Looked like a football player playing baseball.
But, like, cut.
Yeah.
That dude was ripped. Oh my goodness. And then he had one good month. It was like one April. And then when the sauce wore off, baby, back to being nobody.
He went to the Dodgers, right?
I think I saw in the transaction somewhere he signed a minor league deal with
I
somebody.
mean,
The Athletics.
but he
That
was on the Dodgers in 2016 or something, right?
I don't know. Hang
No,
on, I'm pulling his page up.
no.
He's 35. He was with the Nationals in
Gotcha.
2020. He didn't play last year.
Look at that.
He must have been a minor leaguer last year because he's on a minor league contract with Oakland. Yeah, he was with Milwaukee until 2020.
You'd be testing that guy every day.
Yeah, he's huge. He's
Look,
35 now.
look at where his numbers went.
He's 5'11", 235. So like he's
Yeah.
literally I'm as big as he is, but I'm taller. And I'm not that big. Like I'm not that jacked. I'm not Eric Dames jacked.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, some of them guys, dude.
Yeah.
But why wouldn't you? I would.
Right, I agree.
Where's his fucking? Yeah, look at all the money he made after that, dude. So 2012 he made 485,000. 2017 4 million. 18 5 million. 19 6 million. 20 he made 4 million. 3 million and plus $1 million buyout. Insane. They can't be mad at these guys.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do, man. I'm not I'm not here to tell anybody what to do, But you got to do what's best for you.
You got to hit home runs.
Got to get paid. Got to get paid.
Home runs.
Got to get paid.
You got to hit home runs, man.
Hey, if that's what you got to do. You got to do it. You want to get paid.
So I think it's I think the players. It's going to be interesting to see how the new CBA affects contract negotiations going forward for some of these guys. But like when you look at a guy like Schwarber and stuff getting the money he got, but only in a 4-year deal, there's potential that at the end of that 4 years, he could be on a real regression and not get any more big money for the rest of his career.
No doubt.
So, it's pretty interesting that, especially like Rizzo, 2 years, he could have 2 decent years, and that was, it could end up being really good for him, and the rest of his career could just be 1 and 2 year deals. But it's going to be interesting seeing these guys that get called up when they're 24 and they got 6 years of team control and they're not getting paid till they're 30. They're going to get paid for 2 fucking years, 2 and 3 years, a lot of them. And that's going to be the way it is going forward.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's all
There was a lot of years over the last decade. There was a lot of off seasons where we saw guys getting getting long contracts. Just everybody got it became where 6 and 7 years was kind of the norm that we were seeing for everybody.
You back? You there?
Yeah, could you not hear me before?
I muted you. Your mic started getting fuzzy.
Motherfucker.
Hey, I don't live in the village, bud.
No, but I with all those like long contracts that we used to see, even for guys that were only getting 10 to 15 million, but now it seems like the guys that you see taking the longer contracts, it's always a lot more money, right? It's the 25 million plus guys that you see get the big loan contracts usually now. I don't know. It's crazy. I think Chris Bryant getting paid is really going to help out Carlos Correa and Nick Castellanos and those guys. That's some big money.
Yeah, it is big money. I'm just trying to make sense of, like, the Chris Bryant deal doesn't make a ton of sense. Your fucking microphone doesn't make a ton of sense either. The Nationals picked up Sean Doolittle. That was another move today. So the Nationals are making moves. Yeah. Jose Abreu deferred questions about his future. He said he'll consult with his family how he feels when the season's over. This is the final year of his 3-year deal for the White Sox. So there you go. I'm waiting for him to start regressing too. But we'll see. We'll see. What else do we have? Freddie Freeman did thank his fans and stuff on Instagram, so we already know that he's gone. We just don't know where. We don't know what's going on with Correa. We don't know what's going on with Castellanos. I don't think we've heard anything about Kenley Jansen, who's out there available. I mean, I don't know what he would cost, but I feel like if it wasn't that much, I think the Dodgers would have already just brought him back. So,
do you think Sean Manaea gets traded?
it's possible. The A's have already made, moves towards that direction. I would assume he's really got to be coming up on free agency too. So, yeah, I would expect to see him get traded, no doubt. No doubt. Let's see what we have here. So yeah, they're showing Correa still out there, and he's still the top free agent. He's rated above Corey Seager per CBS Sports. Chris Bryant was third, Semien was fourth, and we both know Seager and Semien went down to Texas. Freddie Freeman is listed at fifth, and he's still unsigned. Trevor Story at 11. Now, will the Rockies try and keep Trevor Story now with Chris Bryant? It's interesting. That could be a nice little combo there. Trevor Story's a fantastic ball player.
I'd like to see the Cubs sign Trevor Story.
I would have liked to seen that before Andrelton Simmons. But for $4 million and Andrelton Simmons on a 1-year deal, you could sign anybody else if they're willing to come. I don't think that's an issue.
I'd like to sign Trevor Story and have Simmons as a backup for Trevor Story.
Castellanos is still unsigned, of course. Who else? Michael Conforto, another corner outfielder guy, still out there, available. Michael Pineda, Zach Greinke is signed, so this isn't up to date. Colin McHugh signed too. Danny Duffy's available. Kyle Seager retired. Jorge Soler is still available. Rosario and Tommy Pham. So yeah, after that it gets down to the nitty gritty because Jock Peterson just signed. So we're getting free agency wrapped up. But there are still some big names on the table, most notably Correa and Freeman and Story. Correa, Freeman, Story, Castellanos, and Kenley Jansen. I'll throw him in there because he can help. Conforto too. Those are all top 25 guys. After that, it definitely waters down quite a bit. But there's still a good assortment of options, really, at every position. You got a shortstop. You have a first baseman. You have another shortstop. You got an outfielder. You got a reliever. You got another outfielder. So you have some options if you need some pieces to your puzzle. And then you got outlier guys that aren't even on the radar, like in Albert Pujols. Where's he gonna? I heard the last rumor I heard on Pujols was that there was a significant amount of teams interested, in some of them being National League teams. I don't see why one of these fucking terrible ass teams that are trading away everything wouldn't sign Pujols to a 1-year deal. Just to bring fans in, man. If you let him play DH, what's he need? 16 home runs for 700? Something like that? You're telling me one of these, and I'm not trying to rag on Pujols at all. not at all. But it's clear with him not retiring that that's what he wants to do is get to that milestone. Which hey, I hope you do. But there's absolutely a market for him. I don't know how much money
How
he's
much?
gonna.
Yeah, how much could you pay him?
You could pay him whatever you want because you're gonna put fucking asses in the seats for when that moment happens. So
Oh, it's just so hard.
I agree. He sucked. I mean, in terms of today, he's as a ball player in today's game, he's not very good.
Oh, he won. Let's see. So he needs. He needs 21 home runs.
Okay, so it's a little more than I thought.
He
So
had 17 last year in.
he needs to go somewhere where he is the DH, where he's gonna need every at bat he can get. How many at bats did he have last year, Pav?
296 and had 17 home runs.
Yeah, so he needs he needs to be an everyday DH. But what do you hit for average and on base?
236, 284 on base.
That on base is rough.
Dude, it's been dude.
I know.
His on base since 2017, 286, 289, 305, 270,
I mean,
284.
you don't sign him for any other reason other than to help him out. I feel like that's the thing. You're doing him a favor to sign him.
Dude, how relieved are the Angels?
Well, they're not going to be very relieved if Rendon doesn't start fucking doing. The Rendon is a $300 million contract guy too. You know what I mean? He won a World Series and cashed in, so he's got to perform. He's a big chunk of their future.
Pujols got 30 million last year.
Fleeced him.
Oh my! When you think about that's part of the thing. I'm telling you, that's what is really hurting these guys now. Is that a guy like Pujols, who's first ballot Hall of Fame, right? First ballot Hall of Fame, and the last fucking what is that? The last 10 years have been, he had a couple average seasons. Like was he ever an all-star with them?
Who? Pujols?
Nope. Wait, one time. Yeah. So he made one all-star team.
He did nothing for them, right?
He hit 244 and made the all-star team. So he had one decent, you're paying this guy 30 million. I don't know what the average was that he got up to, but he had one decent season where he had 30 home runs, 100 RBIs, 850 OPS. But since then, he hasn't had an OPS above 800.
That's because he was a motherfucking Cub killer, dude.
It's, so I I understand players' beef, but man, dude, the fucking ownership aided on that one. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, no doubt. But that's what you get. The Angels are like that dweeby kid trying to always outkick their coverage. You know what I mean? Anybody here? We have lots of money. Throwing money at Trout, Pujols, Rendon, Ohtani, anybody. You want some money? Here you go.
That just goes to show how good his first 10 years were.
They gave Raisel Iglesias a 4-year deal, and he's 32 to be their closer. They gave a 32-year. I don't know what the financials are, but they gave him a 4-year deal to keep closing games for him.
For the Angels?
Yeah.
Oh man. Hopefully Trout is healthy this whole season, and we get to see.
And the Angels did get Syndergaard. I forgot about that. They picked him up before because I wanted the Cubs to sign him before the lockout. They signed him to a 1-year deal. That's the velocity I wanted to see. I forget what it was.
If Ohtani can have a good season, he doesn't even have to have the season he had last year, right? He just needs to. If he has a good season, and Trout has her. If Trout's Trout if he just stays healthy, that's the thing with Trout. People give Trout shit, and obviously, his biggest thing is his bat's not falling off. He just is having health issues, so that's a pain in the fucking dick.
Yeah, this will be a huge year for Mike Trout.
He needs to stay. He needs to get 500 at bats.
Yeah.
If he can get 500 at bats, it's going to make a huge difference for that team. They basically played last year without him, right?
Right. Yeah, no. Absolutely. Yeah, it was a calf pull that really was a tear, and they didn't figure it out or some shit. I don't know. He said every time he'd get cleared to rehab, he'd go hard on it one day and feel great, and then the next day he'd be so sore he couldn't do anything. So fuck. Hopefully he's good. So who knows? You need Trout. Baseball needs Trout to be healthy,
right?
Because it's an exciting team for national television reasons. That's an exciting team. You could put them on a primetime Saturday, Sunday game. People are tuning in to watch that collection of talent. Whether they perform or not, you're still going to get the world's audience with Ohtani and everything that comes along with that, and then having the best player in the game. And Mike Trout, even though he doesn't cause a lot of attention and draw any attention to himself for getting the headlines, people still know who Mike Trout is. So, then you got Syndergaard and all these other guys.
Did the Rangers they didn't get better, did they?
The Rangers?
Yeah.
They had,
absolutely.
They got Corey Seager. They got Marcus Semien. They got Mitch Garver. He was part of that. That's what they gave up Kiner Falefa. It was like a goofy 3-team deal. 2 teams made a trade, and then the third team.
Isn't enough for them? They're really bad.
I don't think they're going to compete, but they signed some guys, so they're going to try.
That division's a funny division because you can beat the hell out of some teams there.
But I don't know what they have for pitching yet. Like I'm not prepared to talk about what these teams are going to do. We'll get to that shit. Just talk about we got baseball coming. And then next week when we do the show, we'll talk about what's going on at spring training. And then the week after that, we're going to talk about more awesome baseball.
Are you surprised Kyle Seager retired?
I am. Was he 32? 33? He wasn't
33.
Super,
he would have been 34 this year.
Yeah, he's not super old, but hey, if he didn't want to be around to watch the Mariners suck.
Career high in home runs and RBI.
But his average was really bad last year, was it not?
Really bad.
So maybe honestly, there's shit like this.
Games.
Maybe he's having vision issues, some shit like that. Maybe he knew. You know what I mean? Maybe he just knew. Like, hey, I got to get out because it's not going to get any better. Who knows? I don't know. Could be something wrong with him. Buster Posey. Why is Buster Posey retiring? How good was his year last year? You know what I mean? It was great. He had a great year last year. So, now they got the DH. If he didn't want to catch a whole season.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
But sometimes it's just time. And he obviously... Okay, so Mariners fans don't take this the wrong way. Kyle Seager wasn't on any sort of Hall of Fame trajectory, but he was a quality big league player. So if he's got enough money and this and that and he's happy, what does he need to keep playing for? He couldn't. What more could he actually chase to accomplish outside of winning a championship? And a lot of winning a championship is out of your control. You can't control that. So
that's pretty crazy. Like Buster Posey, that's got to be crazy, huh?
That's why I say, and this is the fucking hottest take I've ever had, I don't think Buster Posey's a Hall of Famer, and it's not because of what he did. It's what he's not going to do. It's the longevity thing. I don't think he's done enough over a long enough period of time. What he's done in the period of time he's been here, phenomenal, amazing, fantastic, well above average. But Hall of Famers don't retire at 32.
And the thing with him was, he didn't have 8 Gold Gloves. He didn't have,
Right.
he didn't have
And
100 home runs.
the fanboys say they're like, it's Yadier Molina's fault he doesn't have more Gold Gloves. Well, sure, but if you're talking about the greatest of all time, then you should be the greatest of your era, or you should just keep playing. You didn't even outplay a guy who started before you, like in terms of longevity. So I love Buster Posey. I'm not shitting on Buster Posey, but he's not a Hall of Famer in my book. And for those reasons you said, not enough home runs, not enough RBIs. He just didn't play long enough. What he did while he was here was great. He didn't play long enough.
Yeah,
It's an easy no for me, but I'm 100% neutral. I don't hate the Giants. I'm not a Giants fan. I think Buster Posey's a great player. He's got his reasons, man. His family. He said he wanted to spend time with his family.
I'll bet he opted out and got to spend all that time sitting on all that cash.
Yeah. And he sat out, right? He sat out for 2020. So, again, another reason for me that he's not a Hall of Famer. There was baseball playing, and he was like, nah, I'm good. So, yeah, he really was good. Whatever.
Didn't even have 5,000 at bats, so I can't. It's
a no for me.
Not up there.
I said that the day he retired. I said, hey, Buster Posey retired. In my opinion, he's not a Hall of Famer. I took so much shit for saying that. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? He's not a Hall of Famer. So, I don't know.
It's tough because, like, I don't know. Sandy Koufax is one of those. That's a really funny thing with like his situation, right? Of how he had this really small group of absolutely fantastic seasons, and then that's what his whole Hall of Fame bid was built on. So, like, when you look at Sandy Koufax, his Hall of Fame bid was built on 4 seasons. And he doesn't have 200 wins. He doesn't have 3,000 strikeouts.
Right.
His ERA is good, but not like so. There's a lot of guys at that time period that had a career ERA better than his. I just like those first few seasons he had. I don't know. He's a really interesting case, and I think people will try to make that case for like Posey, right? But at the same time, Sandy Koufax won 3 Cy Youngs in those 4 years,
right?
And like when you look at one of the things that I like to do when you're talking about like people's Hall of Fame credentials, a nice thing for like looking at Baseball Reference is they have the boldface for when they led the league in a stat category.
Yep.
And as a Hall of Famer, you should have some boldface numbers on your somewhere.
You know who has one boldface number in 22 big league seasons? Harold Baines.
And that's like
shout out to Harold Baines. What's up, dude? How'd you get in the Hall?
Right,
Still trying to figure that shit out.
Right. So should like Mark Grace be in the Hall of Fame? And that's the bummer for like when guys like that make it. Is
according to the numbers, yeah, he should be because he's got 3-time All-Star, World Series, and 4 Gold Gloves. Harold Baines was 6-time All-Star and won the Silver Slugger once, but has a lower WAR, was a DH, hit lower average, all that shit. Yeah. Mark Grace was just a contact hitter. He was a singles hitter,
He's a victim of being on the fucking Cubs too when they were absolutely fucking shit. So like
there's like few outside of like your individual accomplishments, outside of like your All-Star awards and your Gold Gloves and your Silver Sluggers and shit like that. There's a few things I consider to be like automatic yeses for me in Hall of Fame, and the 2 big ones are 500 home runs or 3,000 hits. I don't care how you get there. If you can stay in the big leagues long enough to get to those 2 deals, either or, I think that puts you in. And like the guys that don't get there, It's like, what did you do? Like Harold Baines, what did he was a career DH. So he was a career guy that didn't even play, like, literally he only played in like 5% of the game when it was his at bat. And he was a 289 career hitter. He didn't get to 3,000 hits. He didn't even get to 400 home runs, and he only stole 34 bases in his entire career. Like, what? What? And he 1 year he led the league in slugging one time, and he only had 29 home runs that year in
What was his
1984.
OPS?
Career OPS 820.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Mark Grace 825.
There you go. There you go.
How many at bats did Harold Baines have?
9,908.
Yeah, so he had 1,000 more at bats, and that's where like Grace got fucked because he gets that extra 1,000 at bats. He would have had at least 2,500 hits.
Mark Grace led the entire 1990s in hits, if I'm not mistaken. He's like So how's that guy not even in? Or I'm not so much offended that he's not in the Hall of Fame because he doesn't meet my two qualifiers outside of the individual accolades. But how does Harold Baines get in and that guy doesn't? I mean, what the fuck?
It's one of those things that's like it's such a bummer too because Mark Grace, a guy like Mark Grace that's who you want on your team, right? You want this guy that is playing 150 games a year, hits 300, hits 15 to 20 home runs,
and smoking a fucking pack a day and drinking a 6-pack during the game. Fuck yeah.
Getting arrested for DUIs.
And getting it done. And still getting it done. But yeah, Mark Grace has more bolded categories than Harold Baines. He only has 3 of them.
Yeah. At bats, doubles, and sacrifice fly.
Sack flies, baby. Hey, that's 10 very productive plate appearances.
Yeah. But, it is what it is. There's going to be guys like that. I just think that, like, there are guys that aren't in that should be in.
Of course, Barry Bonds.
Given that, so.
Yep, Sammy Sosa.
It's pretty interesting. It's pretty crazy now, like, when you think about
Roger Clemens.
When you think about, like, there's a good chance that, like, a guy like Mark Grace would probably hit 25 home runs a year. And in the game that we have now with these with the balls.
I don't know, dude. They had a whole different type of approach at the plate back. They teach these kids about launch angle now, and exit velocities and shit. These little kids at these little camps.
And they give them a freaking golf ball to hit out of the park. It just kills me that, like, all those pitchers and stuff the last few years have been like, hey, we noticed that the ball's different. We know it is. And then they had the whole group, like, because whenever baseball, what I love about baseball too is, like, the fans, right? Baseball has some of the most diverse fans of any sport. And, like, we have huge, like, groups of engineers and shit that love the game of baseball, and they do all these weird studies, and we get all sorts of cool numbers out of it. But, like, when they started taking the balls and seeing, okay, these balls are obviously flying farther off of the bat and all this stuff, and
yeah, they're like, if we hit this ball with the same amount of force as that ball, why is this one going farther?
Yeah, and then the MLB had to come out and say, okay, yeah, the balls are different.
And then they had to come out with some shit saying they had 2 different sets of balls during the same season. They were mixing the balls up during the same year.
Yeah,
that was one of the reasons I wanted this dude gone.
It's pretty obvious
when I found that out, gone.
Balls.
Yeah.
But as a means of not juicing the players, they're juicing the balls.
And then they said they did something to take away from the balls, but then they're like, they blamed their reasoning for using 2 different sets of balls was because they changed the ball and then they had supply issues making the balls. So sorry, if you're not able to fully implement a new set of baseballs and you don't have the means and the supply chain and you're the biggest baseball organization on earth to do it, don't fucking do it. It's not acceptable to have an uneven playing field from series to series, game to game, city to city. It depends, you know. We're going to Toronto this week. They don't have the good balls up there, so
It's,
we're
it's
gonna
like
be trying to.
now, right?
Yeah.
Bring your own ball. You pick what ball we pitch to
Fucking
you.
the away team brings their own set of game balls. They're like, no, we're using these. They're like, but Bozo Bob said we got to use these balls, and they both agree behind the scenes. They're like, fuck that, throw them balls out.
Hey, our balls have been in a humidor for all this time, and you're coming out here. Look at these. You brought rocks. These are rocks. I don't know. I did remember that the MLB said that too, right? They were going to make everybody start using the humidor like Colorado does.
Yep.
I don't know, man. It's just I don't hate it.
They just get I don't think they did it without telling anybody
all the time.
Yeah, they did it without telling anybody.
Nobody would fucking care if you changed the balls so that people hit more home runs. If you just told people, they wouldn't fucking care. People love home runs.
Even if they did care, they're not going to do shit anyway. Because here we are finding about it anyway, and there's nothing we can do but bitch about being lied to. Like, just tell us. Just come out with it. Just let us know. We need to know. Fucking clown. My daughter comes down here every day after school and slaps Bozo Bob in the face because she goes, Daddy, why is this guy hanging from your ceiling? I'm like, because he's trying to
champion today.
Like he's trying to ruin baseball, sweetie. That's Daddy's favorite game. So she starts slapping it. I'm like, would you stop? Oh yeah, what a winner that guy is. Fucking loser. How do you get him out? He's voted in by the owners. So like there's got to be some sort of like trump card. You know, like a check and balance of sorts for the players and the union. That dude's terrible. Just terrible. I don't know. He's been around he's both times in my lifetime the sport's been locked out. He's been involved. He was brought in, to my understanding, he was brought in during the lockout as like some sort of mediator or like advisor. He was a lawyer, I think, Manfred, before he got like, fuck you. You're a career liar. I'm not into lawyers and politicians and all that shit unless I need a real good one. And then I'm still not calling Bozo Bob. Though, you know the worst thing, though, about it? The worst thing about the commissioner in the office is somehow he conned Ken Griffey Jr. into coming to work for him. Sucks. Speaking of Ken Griffey Jr., he was, as of this morning, the 6th highest paid player actively on the Reds roster. Did you know that?
I can't wait to see once they update all the payrolls.
They have to pay Griffey $3.69 million this year. It's the last year they have to pay him, I believe. And that makes him currently the 6th highest player on their payroll in terms of salary. So maybe Griffey will come out of retirement, hit a couple out of the Great American Ballpark. Pav, dude, what else you got? We got anything else?
Man, I'm gonna have a lot more once baseball starts. Now it's just waiting for Correa and those guys to get signed. And I'll try our best to watch the games tomorrow. It's kind of funny that they actually like the Cubs play the White Sox tomorrow, 2 games, one where they're home and one where they're away, at the same exact time. So you can't watch both games. You got to pick one or the other.
Or you just hope there's a replay on later. Maybe they broadcast them at different times.
But man, we get to watch some baseball tomorrow, dude. That's gonna be nice.
Yeah, that's great. And March Madness, does that start tomorrow?
It started.
I know it started, but I think like the real deal starts tonight because Notre Dame's playing right now. They're playing a play-in game.
IU had to play a fucking playing game as a 12 seed. That
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like,
I think it's stupid too because Notre Dame's playing a play-in game as the 11th seed, which is
what?
ignorant.
Isn't that fucking?
I
So
was
like these
I was
teams
trying to
are
explain it
seeded
to Laura.
16.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
I was trying
Okay.
to explain it to Laura. I'm like, listen, two teams have to play for the number 11 seed. The team that loses doesn't get in at all, but the 12, the 13, the 14, the 15th, and the 16th seed, they're all in. You know, they're good. It's stupid. I
Isn't
think
that
it's so
weird?
stupid.
I don't get it.
Yeah, Notre Dame's currently losing, but I want them to win. They play Alabama if they win, and Notre Dame Alabama is something I gotta see. Anytime I could get a W over our good friend at Deep Fried Breaks, Blake Bollinger. The Irish could knock off the stupid Alabama folks can't even spell elephant. Make me feel good about myself.
How long is Joey Votto locked up?
Until he goes back to Canada. Who cares?
He's getting 25 million. Mike Moustakis 16. Then Mike Minor getting
Which is
10
Wade
million.
Miley. They should have just kept Wade Miley. And they could have kept Amir Garrett too.
Strogo Akiyama,
Yeah.
Luis Castillo, Tyler Melly. I like Tyler Melly. How'd he?
Yeah.
Did he
Miley's
have?
pretty good.
There are some fucking. Everybody's beating up on the Reds, right? But holy shit, when you look at some of these, the Orioles right now, the Orioles payroll's 30 million. Pirates 35, Cleveland 35, Oakland 41, Miami
That's had to have
55.
gone down.
For which one?
Oakland. How
It
recent
says
that?
this is like real time.
Huh.
So they got Mania at 10 million,
Yeah.
Piscotti at 7.2,
It's still like those are like peanuts.
Elvis Andrews 6.7, Frankie Montes
Yeah.
5.2,
Oh wow.
Lou Trevino. See, like the golfer. Oh, that was Lee Trevino, right?
Yeah.
2.9. Ramon Laureano 2.8.
Mm.
Chad Pinder 2.7. Tony Kemp 2.2. But yeah, their payroll's fucking trash.
Yeah.
But fucking Miami, Arizona 71. The Twins, they demolished their fucking team, right? 72. I don't know. Some of these are pretty wild. But they got the Reds all the way up at 84 million.
That's wild. Man,
The Mariners 85 million.
the Reds weren't that
89.
far removed from competing though. I mean, they had fucking studs, Suarez and Winker and India
You
turning
think
it on last year, and they had Castellanos. I mean, they had an offense, and Moustakis. The Reds had and Joey Votto. I mean, they had an offense, and
you would think that like
I don't know why they did what they did.
I
I
don't
think
know.
maybe with Castellanos opting out, it gave them a chance to reassess their down the road maneuver, and I think maybe they felt that this was their time to get something for what they had to offer. I don't know.
The Mariners could spend some money, dude.
Yeah, I really thought they were getting Chris Bryant. I really thought that was going to be a thing because he's so versatile. He's so versatile. Bring him up or bring him over, and then even with Suarez and Winker being there, you got another third baseman and outfielder, and you bring these kids up and let them fit in where they can. And I don't know. I couldn't tell you, dude. It's gonna be interesting. I can't wait till we get these games going, get these rosters finalized. They still haven't decided if they're going to allow an extra man in April on the rosters because of the short spring training. They're supposed to have some sort of vote amongst the owners. It's not a player thing, it's an owner thing. If they want to have an extra spot on the roster like they did for the COVID season. For that first couple, I think it was like 2 weeks, they allowed you to have two extra guys, I think. I think they let you have like 28, and then each week you had to cut one guy down to 26 eventually. It's just like a in case of emergency type of situation. But that stunts some growth for whoever you're bringing up, because whoever you're bringing up is just going to be a depth piece and not getting that minor league time. So I don't know. I don't know where the Cubs are at. I really don't know where any of these teams are at, except for the ones making a lot of noise right now. So until they settle it down and
You
lock it
know,
in.
the Cubs, man, they just, to be honest, they just didn't really time anything very well. Um, like you really needed pitching, and you really handcuffed yourself this year because there wasn't any. So, like, to be honest, we talked about it. I told you I wanted Stroman. That's who they went and got. So, I mean, I think that was your best uh, guy for value and length of time, because it's going to be a few years before they got a team that can compete. I and like I don't there wasn't the pitching on the market that you needed, unless you went out and you fucking bought Scherzer for just a couple years, and then you'd have to buy a lineup for just a couple years, and then you'd be back to really having to rebuild again in a couple years. So I just don't think they timed anything very well, where all of a sudden you had your three major pieces leaving the team at the same time, and you didn't have any fucking pitching that you could get in the offseason. So they really left themselves with a pretty heavy task of trying to make a decent team out of what was available in free agency this year. It's just tough.
Yeah, I mean, the Cubs are, like I said, we don't know if they're in or out, honestly. They could find themselves in a position at the deadline. And the other thing we haven't talked about is all the kids they loaded up on trading away these guys last year. I mean, they picked up some arms and they picked up some promising young bats. And whether we see those guys get to the big leagues or whether we see them get leveraged for deadline bait. If
You know
they
what, we're gonna have to go out on the road this year. This is what it means. This is what our audience has to look forward to this year. Brad and I are gonna have to go out on the road and start going to some of these minor league games and watching games, and maybe getting little clips of video, bringing some stuff out here and talking
will
about.
we'll fucking we'll go to Tennessee. We'll go watch our friend Nick Bennett pitch. And I actually texted him today. He was on episode 6, I think. Pitcher in the Brewers system. We had him on the show. I was going through boxes today, making my decisions for what cards I wanted to send. And I had the Bowman Sapphire, the Bowman Draft Sapphire card of his. But apparently it's a Bowman Sapphire card because I also pulled his first, or I found in a box a first Mojo of his. So he had to been in a Bowman Mega Box, which means he would have been in a Spring Bowman release, which makes sense to me because he did say he was a 2019 draft choice. So he wasn't in 2019 draft, he was in 2020 Spring Bowman. But I don't know where I put it. But I have a Mojo refractor. Here it is. So I have just a regular Mojo refractor.
Yeah, I'm 110% down.
Yeah. And I told him, I texted him because he posted something about his cleats on Instagram. But I found that card. I texted to him. I'm like, look, dude, I got another card of yours I didn't even know I had. He's like, that's all. Hang on. I got my phone right here.
I got an email from the Cubs that they would still like to sell me season tickets, which is pretty amazing because, it used to be that you'd be on
Wait
the
forever.
waiting list forever. And then if you didn't buy, which that was their thing, like if you don't buy, you're going to go to the back of the line.
Mm-hmm.
Here's your deadline. They're like fucking Manfred, man. Here's your deadline. This is your deadline.
It's our new made up deadline. Hey, we're going to extend it by 12 hours. You still want them tickets?
Dude, I didn't know I could still buy tickets. And I got an email today. And it was like, hey, you could still buy season tickets. And I went and looked, dude. I could buy them anywhere on the field. I could buy club box right up on the fucking field still. It's pretty funny. It ain't worth it.
Nick just said, I told him he's got some sweet cleats. He's got some custom cleats. And he's like, thanks, dude. It's so cool. Love to see it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Baseball's back for everyone. I said, yeah, dude, I'm so pumped. Honestly, I thought I was going to have to be a Brewers minor league groupie this year if we weren't gonna get some baseball, dude. So yeah, if he's with AA, he'll be in that the Southern AA league, which is where the Cubs, Tennessee, and Biloxi, and they have some cool teams down there. What am I? Oh, I'm missing the teams. I was just looking at them today. Anyway, we gotta go. We gotta go see him pitch. We get some footage of that. Fuck it, might as well. That we could drive that. We could drive it down for a weekend or something.
Yeah.
I was looking at their schedule. You know what? Here, let's figure it out. I was actually looking at it. 2022.
I love it. I'm always down.
Because
if you guys
if
have
he's
never
pitching
been to
for
a minor league game, you gotta go to a minor league game. It's a different experience than MLB. 100%.
Because if he's pitching in Biloxi, that's all the way on the coast of Mississippi. That's down there in the Gulf of Mexico. But let's see. I'm trying to. What's home and away? Their calendar sucks.
The Smokies.
No, I'm looking at Biloxi's calendar. I don't know which color's home and which color's away. Doesn't make any sense. It's gray or white, or like yellow or white, and it doesn't have like an at.
I got you.
It doesn't. Oh, okay. Here it is. Home is okay. So away. We're looking for away games in Tennessee. July. That's wild. All year they only play in Tennessee one time. They play the 5-game series, they do it different to reduce the travel. But they're in the same division and they only play each other 10 times.
5 games, they play 6 games.
Oh, 6 games, you're right.
6 games without a fucking day off.
Well, that's
one team.
Yeah, 6 straight games. So yeah, from July 12th through the 17th. We'll have to
it
go
looks
down
like
to
it's right
Tennessee.
up to All-Star break.
I don't even know what the All-Star break is this year. It must be those 4 days. They said it's a shortened All-Star break this year. So yeah, it must be the 18th through the 21st. So yeah, that's the option. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
Pensacola is not going to
2
happen.
weekend games there, dude.
Montgomery.
I'm thinking we could do that Saturday night game.
Birmingham. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Well, find out when Nick's pitching. I gotta go to the game Nick's pitching. Nick, when you pitching, bud, we'll be there. Fucking be the only 2 idiots just going nuts over a strike. Oh, yeah, Nick, good fucking pitch, dude. Fuck, I'll bring the cowbell. Be fucking wild. But I mean, that's if he's still there, if he's healthy.
Right.
So we'll play that by ear. He could be in AAA by then.
Hopefully
going
he's
somewhere
in
else
AAA or the majors by then.
Yeah, the majors. Fuck it. Brewers Field, Coors Park, Miller, whatever the fuck it is now. American.
Tennessee.
Yeah, me too. Let's do it.
We could meet our good friend down there. We got a bunch of them down there, but this is what I get for not being on Facebook anymore.
Oh my god, dude! I know exactly who you're talking about, and I can't think of his name
John
either.
Prater.
Yeah, Johnny Prater. Holy fuck, Johnny!
Dude,
shout out to John Prater.
Shout out to John Prater. I went down to Tennessee with my family.
Right, I remember.
And he's I told him, hey, let's meet up for the game. And he's like, okay, dude, I got tickets for you. And I'm like, fucking hey, man. And I went, dude, and he had tickets for me. I met him in line. I met Evan Hodge at the same time. And, dude, it was a great time. Nice seats. Awesome. Dude, that's a nice park. I mean, most of them, it's obviously not a major league field, but, like, it's not fucking high school either, They get a pretty nice field. You get to sit really close for very little money. Right. And they got a lot better concessions than anywhere else you can go to for that cheap,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, shit, bud. Let's wrap this thing up. Almost 2 hours, man. We don't have much to say. We just want to get an update on all this free agency madness.
We got baseball. We got CBA. We got free agents.
Get on Twitter. Let us know what you think about all these moves, man. If you watch it on the YouTube, comment on the YouTube. We need more engagement out of you guys. We gotta figure that out. I gotta start telling you guys this earlier in the show, though. I can't imagine everybody sticks around till the end. So Pav, next week I gotta yell at these dudes right away. I just gotta, hey, get on the fucking Twitter. Go to the YouTube. Say hello. We did a giveaway last week. We gave away a box of Topps Heritage. I did it. I told you guys in the show I was going to do a giveaway. One person went over to Twitter to hit us up. Shout out to Duffy, I think, or Dustin. Somebody hit us up. Shout out to you though, big time. So we're doing plenty of downloads. Like there's more people watching the show than you'd think, and we need some engagement out of you. That's the only reason I'm telling you, because I know you're watching. I know you're listening. So come say hello. Be friendly. We did a giveaway last week, so you want to win some free shit? You never know what's going on, man. We're not some of the big shows. We're not sponsored or anything by anybody, any of the card companies or anything like that, because I don't want to be just talking about the hobby.
That, and they haven't offered us money yet.
Yeah, none of that.
They offer us some money, baby. We're sponsored, putting logos up all over the place. You guys can tell us how much you hate us for all that
selling
good stuff.
Out.
It don't matter. I'll sell out as fast as I can.
I will too, just to offset the hosting of the audio. The audio, like people that don't understand, I'll say this real quick before we get out of here, because people ask me, I've been asked, like, hey, where should I listen to the podcast? Do you make more money on Apple? Do you make more money on Spotify? The answer is it costs us money to be on either platform. So we don't get any money for anyone listening. No downloads, no streams, none of that. We don't get a penny. It actually costs us X amount of dollars a month to have our podcast on those services. So if you want to support us financially in any way, watch it on YouTube and watch the ads. I don't know how the ad shit works, but I made like $20 in ad revenue last month between my business and the podcast. So I probably made, here, let's look.
Yeah, you guys don't want to know how Brad's making the money to pay for this stuff.
We don't make shit. Yeah.
I'm gonna put a banner up next week. Save Brad's butthole.
Son of a bitch. So what up? Oh, that's episode 12. So episode 12 has not very many views, but this was it's fine. I want to do the highest. We'll do the highest podcast and the lowest podcast.
The highest is Brett's, right? The Wander.
It's got to be Brett's, yeah.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make sense, because like that's not the one that's been the
poor fucking Brett, dude. The dude posts Wander, all these people fucking post his shit all over. Nobody gives him no love.
So since published, so this is weird. So Brett's been our most watched episode. Since it's been published, it's only made $1.79.
Woo!
That's it. Biggest watched episode ever is made $1.79. But if we go to a different video, like it says this one, episode 12, is made $2.52, and it doesn't have half the. It has less than 100 views. So I don't understand anything about how revenue works for YouTube. But if you want to help, watch it on YouTube. The audio doesn't help, but if you're on the audio, download that shit. That's all. And I don't care what you do. Just be happy, really. That's all my goal is. I just watch the numbers and buy a spot in a break. Undergroundcasebreaks.com, baby. That's how you really support what we're doing here. So if I make money doing that, then I don't care about this. This just costs us money. And it's a good time, though. We do this because we love it. Try and teach some people some shit. We like to talk sports. Tell you what's going on in the hobby. I mean, we had the 101 Wandermania man on here, and it made us $1.79 plus his $500 fee to get him on here. You know what I mean? Oh, that's not true. Brett does not charge us to be on his show. We love having him. He's just going on vacation or something. So
yeah,
he'll be back next week, maybe. I don't know. There's spring break next week here too. We're still gonna do an episode, whether I'm on the road or not.
Where are you going on vacation?
I tried to go down to spring training with you, to Florida.
I know.
Look at that. You could hear it in his voice, ladies. You don't even need the video.
I got a baby.
You could hear the look on his face.
Read that. It says
the look on his face.
Pav Daddy means Pav no go nowhere.
I got kids too, dog.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but yours
no,
yours
they're
are
not.
getting to
Not
that age,
yet.
so.
Not yet. Riley's wild. She's too wild. I couldn't even get her through the beginning of Pokemon today on the Nintendo. I got her that new Pokemon game for the Nintendo Switch. She couldn't even get through, like, every video game starts where you start the game and then you design your character and you pick your name and they walk you through
Yeah.
all the little tutorials. She couldn't get through none of that because she can somewhat read it. She's about to finish kindergarten. She's doing pretty good reading. She can read some of it, but then once she starts seeing the big words and gets stumped, she loses all interest and she's running around the living
Super
room.
Smash, dude.
Yeah, I got her that Pokemon game and I got her like Super Mario World.
Yeah.
It came with like Bowser's 2 or something. I don't know. So
Yeah. You need Super Smash. I mean, dude, Super Smash is crazy. They actually have.
I haven't played it since Nintendo 64.
Dude, they have tournaments in Fowler. So we've talked about it before. I live in these tiny towns.
Yeah.
But like they have a tournament at the movie theater in Fowler, like a couple times a year. It's pretty funny.
We used to do that for college football and stuff around here.
It's
and Madden
amazing
and all
that
of that.
the following that game still has.
Before the internet. Yeah, I mean, Nintendo does it big because they're so into their own brand. It's like their own little universe. So whatever, I don't know. The show is just going to be on Switch this year. So if the wife wants to watch TV, cool. I'm going to sit in bed and play the fucking show on the Switch. Watch your little murder documentary, babe.
When's the show on the Switch?
This year. This year, Pav.
I need to buy it.
It's just going to suck. It doesn't look good. It's not.
I don't fucking care, dude.
But it's
I get to play it.
It's actually like a cross progression. Like you can play it on PlayStation 5 and then jump on the Switch.
Dude, I play Fortnite on the Switch and it looks I run at fucking 30 frames per second and get my fucking ass stomped because guys are shooting me in the face before I even see them.
That's how the show's going to be. And baseball's really hard to play with. They said they're hoping that they can get 30 frames a second for it. And really, they should be doing 120 on these next consoles, but I think they're still keeping it at 60.
Yeah, I don't know what Nintendo's next move would be. They did pretty good with the Switch. It's been a really good,
biggest selling console they've ever had. I just bought one. It's been around forever. It's a giant tablet. That's all it is. It's literally it fits in my kid's tablet. Like she has one of those Amazon Kids tablets. The actual screen portion of the Switch fits inside of her rubbery case. With her tablet in the rubbery case, I can sit the Switch on top of the screen and it doesn't even touch the border. So it's just a tablet. I mean, that's literally all it is.
That I do really enjoy the games that they have on the Switch and the download stuff on there, like their Nintendo Online is, I don't know, man. I can see how they do so well.
So timeout. John Morosi.
Yeah. This is some news. We're getting news.
John Morosi just tweeted 15 minutes ago, the Dodgers and Freddie Freeman are making progress on a multi-year deal.
They have to, right? They have to bring him in. I mean, when you think about where that team's at, they're still in that window of contention. You bring in this guy that can give you a few more good years. And the problem is that most of the other teams that are in contention, they don't need Freddie Freeman. Right. And I know it's sucks to say that about somebody that is that good, but they don't need him. So
right, absolutely. I agree 100%. So hopefully next week when we get in here for this episode, we'll know where these rest of these top free agents go. We'll know how some of these games go. I'm sure there's going to be a ton of injury news, because that's going to happen when they start playing games. And, get out there and interact with us.
They got to sign, right? If they don't sign soon, this is going to be 3 weeks, right? We got 3 weeks till we got fucking real games.
Yeah, it's time to sign.
It's time to sign, man.
It's time to sign.
Yeah.
Castellanos is the only one that you don't hear anything about, so I don't know what his deal is. Maybe he's just hunkered down.
what I'm gonna like is that like with the spring training, I fully expect to see major league players playing games in the spring.
Yeah, more than one at bat or two at bats.
Right.
Maybe the first week you just see them play 3 or 4 innings, and then the second week 5 or 6, and then that last week they'll be playing full games for sure.
Oh
You're not
yeah.
going to see as many minor leaguers playing in the games this year. Like, hey,
No.
you got your own camp, bub. Go hang out over there. But yeah, Pav, you got anything else, man?
No, not yet. That's it, man. I love baseball. I'm happy that we get to see games. It was 70 degrees here today. It's going to be 70 tomorrow, and there's going to be fucking baseball on TV. I got a new basketball hoop. It's time to go, baby. Summer's coming. Fucking baseball. That's what I'm talking about.